Hi, I'm Brandon Baker with Team Sapphire Dagger. We're going to open the project from Perforce. I have it here copied in a separate folder because it is a zip. Let's go ahead and turn everything down. It already is. Good deal. Okay, and then we're going to pull over Jira. Oh, pull over Jira. And look at our first set of tasks. It is to adjust the IPM of early levels. We made the dash block in level 4 mandatory. We made a better introduction to the guns in level 2 so that level 3 can be mandatory to use the gun. And then we made wall running a better introduction of level 2 so that level 3 is less confusing. And we added enemies to world 2 levels, as well as restructuring hidden coins to be covered with the gun blocks. And the rest of these subtasks are just these completion criteria. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that in the build. We will head to level 2, where we have introduced gun blocks.
Red and pink blocks will kill you, but you can grapple the pink ones.
Destroy these. Gives you an alternate route. You could have gone up there. And then this section here is the new introduction to wall running. And mandatory green blocks. And then in the next
Try
level,
wall running to cross the gaps.
are you not turned down? Okay. This level now has green blocks strewn throughout, as well as a mandatory section at the end. So these blocks now break up the flow of wall running, as well as one blocking the end here. And then we can also discuss I restructured the coins so that you could not pick them up from too far of a distance. Before, the collection distance was too big, so you'd be able to collect it without breaking the gun block. But now the gun block can properly hide the coins. Okay, so let's bring this back over. And that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 subtasks of the main tasks to adjust the IPM of the early levels. So then we'll move on to death effects. For death effects, and this was a task that we discussed on Thursday to replace the art tasks and the vertical wall running bug task. The art task had to be replaced because we did not get art in time, and I replaced the vertical wall running task because I tried as many things as I could think of and nothing fixed it. So we discussed on Thursday that I'd be adding some new tasks, which we have here. So for death effects, we activate slow time for a duration on death, and then we save the location to the game state at the spot where you intersected the red or pink block or the death volume at the bottom. Then we're spawning a billboarded X when the player dies on level restart. And then when you finish a level or open a level through the level select, it dumps all of those locations. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. And we can just do that here. So whenever you touch a red block, it'll save your location and spawn a red X where you died. And we can show that in a couple spots so that we can see that it's working properly. And this will give the player an idea of what killed them. And then the effect there with the time slow is for dramatic effect. And then when we load into a new level, all of those X's get deleted, which this is where the level origin of this level is, so they would have popped up around here. Okay, so let's bring Jira back in. And that was 4 tasks of the main task death effects. And then I fixed a sound bug, and this is to replace the vertical wall running task that we discussed on Thursday. So what I had to do was create a sound concurrency blueprint to limit the number of sounds being played at one time from a single source, or from different instances of the same source. And the bug was that when you would shoot green blocks with a fully charged shot and it would destroy multiple blocks at once, it would play the sound so many times that it would overload the sound handler in Unreal and restart the music. And so we have fixed that with sound concurrency. So I'm gonna bring us to level with a bunch of gun blocks and then turn the sound effects back on and the music. And then we'll destroy these gun blocks. And as you can tell, there's only one sound effect. And the music no longer restarts. Okay. And then we'll bring Jira back over for our last set of tasks. And that was one subtask and one main task for completing or for fixing the sound bug. And then for my last tasks, we replaced all of the yellow transparent blocks with green blocks. That was in levels 3, 4, and 4, 1. So let's go ahead and demonstrate those real quick. Head to, let's turn off the sound first. Settings, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna head to 3, 4, and 4, 1. All right, so 3, 4 had all of those transparent yellow blocks, and in their exact positions, we have replaced them with uh, the green shootable blocks to encourage the player to use their gun and to replace those transparent blocks because they really had no purpose. And then we're going to go to 4-1, and there was a big transparent block here to break up the flow of wall running, which it really didn't do. But now we have green blocks to do that, as well as Kevin has been added here, and all of the pink blocks that were pictured in the IPM adjustment table uh, to add an alternate route for this level. Boop. All right. And then we'll quickly talk about tasks that we did not complete. All right, the vertical wall run bug. I tried. I mean, I've been trying to fix this bug for 2 months probably now since we figured out what was causing it. And nothing I've tried has solved the issue. It has lessened the issue. It's not a game-breaking bug. It is not a progression blocking bug. It is strictly a visual bug, but it is annoying, and I've been trying so hard to fix it, and I will continue to try and fix it over the next couple months while we prepare to post this game to Steam. Um, but that is why that task is incomplete. And then implement art assets. I was going to replace the blocks in the first 4 levels with blocks that were given to us by the artists because at the time of planning, the thought process was that we were going to uh, create 3 or 4 different block assets uh, to avoid stretching the UVs for the materials. But what ended up happening is we got a single block asset, and so I would have had to stretch it the exact same way that I stretched the blocks that we currently have, which would have solved nothing, and would have just made worse wall running surfaces because there are bevels in the new block. Um, and when discussed with the artists, they had already moved on to other tasks, and they said that they would get back to this and have not yet. So this could not be completed. But other than that, everything else has been completed. We've done 16 tasks with 6 incomplete due to the art assets and the vertical wall run bug being uncompletable as of yet. But I've been Brandon. Thank you for your time. I'm going to pass it to Myron.
Hello, my name is Myron from Sapphire Dagger, and I'm going over my sprint review for Desk 6. I have 19 tasks in total, but I was only able to complete 15 of them. I wasn't able to do the implementing assets for the arcade and for the blocks. I just didn't get enough assets from our artists to get this done. Let me move back into what I have gotten done, which is the level select, better world, level select menus, which this is basically just making better menus for the player when they're going through the levels so they can keep track of what they've completed. So the amount of stars they have, the best time they have on each levels, the names of the levels are on the buttons now, things like that. And each of the levels have an image on them that shows you what you're getting into before you actually start the actual level. So my tasks are basically just create the buttons with all the info on them, add the functionality that updates these buttons when you like complete stuff, um, lock the world buttons, lock world buttons until their respective arcade machines is unlocked, which basically just means it'll unlock when you have a certain amount of stars. But if you don't have the amount of stars required, then it doesn't unlock for you, which is also showcased on the menu. And then once the last level of a world is completed, change the next level button to an arcade, to the arcade HUD button, which I can also showcase. So let me get into it. Go to Perforce. Our build is zipped on Perforce. I already have an unzipped version here. All right, let's go to level select. Stars required. Can't open it until you get a certain amount of stars. You have the buttons here that have all the information on them. I'll showcase them updating in a minute. And then, yeah,
Dash through
I'll
the
just play
orange
through
block.
the level real quick to showcase it's actually working. And I also going to do this to
Dash through the orange
showcase
block.
the this. So usually there's a next level button here, but since you don't have enough stars, and this is the last level within a world, instead you have this, which basically takes you back to the arcade, and it shows you the amount of stars required for you to actually get the next world. I have this button, so you can just get them automatically. Opens everything up, and as you can see, it shows you the amount of stars you have, the level, and the time I had in the level. So that's everything for that series of tasks. Next, we have the coin system. This is basically just adding coins to each of the adding a coin to each of the levels, and getting all the coins within one world will unlock a secret level. There's only 3 right now, 3 levels. So it's World 1, World 2, and World 4 that you need to get all of the coins in. But later there'll be more added. Basically, just adding coins to each level, adding functionality, kind of the same for this series of tasks up here. Showcase that. To unlock at the beginning, you don't actually have this unlocked. You have to unlock it with stars first, and then you get the menu. But as you can see, 0 out of 4, 0 out of 3, 0 out of 4. So you have to actually go into a level and get the star. But you have to beat the level as well. So you can't just collect the star and leave. You actually have to beat the level before leaving with the star. Or with the coin, sorry, for it to work. Go in, level select, and now you have the 1 star. Let's say I had all of the stars. I hit this button right here. Now I'm in. Get to play the game or play the level. Works just like all the other levels, but has new mechanics like the space anomalies. Next is the narration. This is the set of tasks that is replacing the arcade assets. This is basically just me adding another audio type to the audio menu. This has to do with Karen and all of her speech bubbles that we have popping up. So that now she actually speaks to you when those pop-ups come up. So all I'm doing is just adding the audio type, adding all the narration clips to mesh with it, add a slide bar to the audio menu, save the information just like all the other clips. And the one extra thing that I added was the change the clip that plays when moving the FFX slider. I didn't necessarily change it, but I made it so that it plays less often when you're sliding the bar, which I can also showcase. All right. So I have my slider here. Everything's low down.
Try wall running to cross the gaps. Press Ctrl to fast fall. Press Ctrl to fast fall.
It's basically cycling between 3 different audio clips from her,
Press Ctrl to fast fall.
but it works. I'll also show it working in level.
This is Kevin. He doesn't want you to win. Eliminate him.
And then here's the SFX slider. It used to be far worse than this, but now I've made it better. Alright.
This is Kevin. He doesn't want you to win. Eliminate him.
And then I'll showcase Karen speaking in the level.
Right-click to grapple when your cursor turns blue.
And that's basically everything for that. Next is the shootable block, which is just adding polish to it. All I'm doing is adding a effect when the player hits the block, and if it has enough health, when you hit it, the little outlines on the block will light up lighter and lighter until it breaks. So let me go back in, showcase that real quick. Also, there's sound effects. They've been updated a little bit. So, yep, you get these blocks that just shattering in. The green ones are when you destroy it, or the dark green one. So that's basically the new effect to let you know, give you more to deal with. And yep, that's basically all of my tasks for my sprint. Passing it off to Noah Rogers.
Hi, my name is Noah Rogers, and I'm with Team Sapphire Dagger. For the start of the video, I'm going to be launching from our build, but first I want to say that we have had an issue before with saving, so our build is zipped. So I'm just going to go ahead and I have it opened here. I have it unzipped and then opened here up on the desktop. We'll go ahead and get it started up. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up the task and then I'll go back and show it in game. So we're going to start with the grapple hook rework. So I added an animation for the grapple hook to shoot out from the player's hand. So what it is it takes about a 16th of a second, but what it does is it shoots out from the right hand, from the grapple location to the actual grab point. Next, when the grapple hook impacts the grapple location, have an effect play at the location. What I did for that is this little. I took the same cube mesh that we have for all of our other blocks, and I took the material and I pasted the material as sprites, and then in the central location is just a looping orb that shows exactly where the grapple hook hit. Next, add a string scrolling sound for when the player is grappling. So what I did there, make sure that's loud enough. Turn it all the way up just so. And you can hear that chime scrolling sound. And then it cancels whenever you stop grappling. Turn the sound effects off again. Alright, so now on to player land effects fix. Fix the bug causing the player land effect to not happen when landing to start a wall run. So, what I mean by this is the land effects wouldn't play on the wall before when the player would jump between wall runs. So now you can hear that landing sound play when the player hits the wall. Alright, and then on to the next one, player HUD rework. Have the crosshair be a dot with two triangles on either side. So originally this had a dot in the middle. I removed the dot due to some feedback from our industry playtesting session on the last day of class. But I still have the two arrows. And then next, the crosshair will close based on how close the player is to grappling, and then click and turn blue when the player can grapple. So the grapple is on a timeline, and what happens is it basically just sets the time of the timeline based on how far away you are to being able to grapple something. So I could probably show this in another level better. So you can see it turning blue, and then slowly it starts to... It will turn blue once it's... So it pinches in, and then turns blue when you can grapple to something. Next, add a placeholder bar for the dash, which will be replaced later with a final asset. The final asset is there now, but I still have the bar there for the dash. Alright, next. So have the dash meter flash blue and then stay solid blue when the player has their dash. When the player uses their dash, the meter will turn gray and then fill back over 5 seconds. So as you can see, the dash is blue currently. If I jump and then dash, it'll drop and turn gray and then slowly fill back up and then turn blue again. Next, change the time slow meter to be the same size as the dash and put the dash on the upper right corner of the speedometer. Put the time slow on the upper... That's supposed to be upper left, but... So the time slow is on the left and the dash is on the right. Time slow works. the way it's intended. Dash also does as well. Alright, so next one is pop-up tips. Add a background box for the messages. So I can go ahead and show that. We'll jump back over to this other level real quick. And you can see that I have a background for the text. Next, when the message triggers for the player, have the box shoot out from the right of the screen towards the center and then stop with a bounce. So if I get away from this trigger volume and then go back inside, you see it pop out, and then it also reverses the animation when you're outside after a certain duration. And then have a robot voice narrate the message after the animation plays. Slowly. Let me go back to my audio, turn the voice volume back up.
Press Control to fast fall. There is a hidden token on every level. Find them all to unlock each world.
And there's that audio clip that played. After the message is finished, have the animation play in reverse. So if I drop down here,
there is a hidden token on every level. Find them all to unlock each world.
We'll see it play back. Alright, and then lastly, fix the bug allowing the pop-up widget to overlap each other. So before we had a bug where the pop-up widget would just, if you hit one and then hit another one, it would play the, basically like the Z order, the widgets would be on top of each other. So I can demonstrate that really quick.
There is a hidden token on every level.
Down,
find them all to unlock each world.
Re-overlap. It'll reactivate, but it only reactivates one and gets rid of the other one. Alright. And that was all my tasks. Thanks for watching.